Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Atlanta Falcons Today. Offseason news and rumors coming up here in just 1 second. First, mailbag video later on this week. And so, of course, if you want to be a part of our mailbag video, you know what to do. Be a subscriber, of course. Hit the red subscribe button. Notification bell can help you out as well. And then also go down below, use the hashtag Falcons in the comments section. Ask any sort of Falcons-related question you want, because if it's good enough and you're a subscriber, I'll pull it up in a mailbag video a little bit later on this week. Let's go and jump to the latest Falcons news and rumors. And the Calvin Ridley trade, the mock trade, really, market has been rising dramatically. Obviously, we have to wait until the actual start of the new league year, as we will see in March 16th? But until then, you're going to see a lot of mock trades. And so I figured I'd go through my 3 favorite ones I found on the internet so far and discuss the ability for the Falcons to actually pull off the move, the fit for Calvin Ridley, and if it's a good return or not in the overall trade for the Falcons. And listen, obviously, they're going to trade Calvin Ridley. Let's just get that right off the bat. They're going to trade him. It's going to happen, barring some sort of statement by Ridley himself saying he wants to return to Atlanta, which obviously haven't seen one of those, haven't seen any statement from Calvin Ridley ever since he went ahead and left this season. And so I expect, again, to really have one of these trades happen, maybe not to the specific team, but in the same mold as we're going to see here in just a couple of seconds. Let's start with the GARAFOLO trade, or GARFOLO trade, if you say his last name. The NFL Network, he had a mock trade he threw up on the, I think it was Good Morning Football a couple of days ago. Here's what it is. Falcons get a Jets 2022 third-round draft pick. The Jets, of course, would get Calvin Ridley. It's a very simple mock trade. It's just a player for a pick, and the pick is right around the 3rd round overall. Now, could the pick be higher? Could they get a 2nd-round draft pick for Calvin Ridley? Maybe, and we'll see some mock drafts that have that coming up here in just a second. But I think between 2nd and 4th are what you're going to expect to get from Ridley. A 3rd is right in the middle of that, and so I think the NFL Network trade here makes a lot of sense. My trade grade, it's a B+. I think this is a good overall move. You ship him over to the AFC, which is good in case he continues to ball out like he did the last couple of years with the Atlanta Falcons. So you don't have to worry about him being a Jet. And for the Jets' perspective, they need receivers. I mean, the Jets, that's one of their big things. Elijah Moore was up often injured, the rookie out of, what was it, Ole Miss, I think. Denzel Mims out of Baylor, still not producing at the level that they want. I still consider Ridley to be a legit number 1 when he's actually healthy and focused in on playing. And so I think it's a good grade overall and a good trade. I'll give it a B+. Now, let's move up the ladder here to a fan-sided mock trade that I saw, and this one involves the Cleveland Browns. So, much like the Jets, it's a pick for a player. It's just a little bit better of a pick here. Falcons get the Browns 2022 2nd-round draft pick, so 2nd versus a 3rd, and the Browns go ahead and get Calvin Ridley. Now, this to me, of course, is a better overall trade, even an A-, just because you're going to go ahead and get a higher draft pick here. But this would show me that you could get a 2nd-round draft pick if there's a real bidding war going on between teams, and if a team like the Browns are desperate for a wide receiver, which they obviously are. Their best receiver right now is Jarvis Landry, OBJ, who played very well in the first Ram playoff game on Monday Night Football, no longer there, and so this makes a ton of sense for the Browns. And so if the Browns are in a bidding war, and the Falcons can use that to their advantage to hype up the trade price, a 2nd-round draft pick is very likely. This is obviously fantastic. A- here. If they get a 2nd-round draft pick for Calvin Ridley and have 3 2nd-round draft picks in 2022, that is going to be huge for the Falcons in terms of rebuilding this team and adding cheap young talent from a rookie perspective. All right, final trade. I want to get a little saucy with this one. This is one of my own here. So it involves Philadelphia. So obviously Philadelphia, we talked about them being rumoredly interested in Calvin Ridley. They need a wide receiver. What if you were to go ahead and get a 2022 3rd, right, plus a player, plus a wide receiver? We'll throw in Jalen Reagor. Did you watch the wild card weekend this weekend? Did you watch the Eagles game? If you did, you see why the Eagles want to get rid of Jalen Reagor, former 1st-round draft pick who has been an absolute dud so far with Philadelphia. Just isn't... it's not a right fit. He needs to change the scenery. He might be one of those wide receivers like Laquan Treadwell was, a 1st-round draft pick who was just a pure bust, or he's just a receiver that needs a fresh location. And so not only do you get your 3rd-round draft pick for Calvin Ridley, but you get a wide receiver who, listen, he might be terrible, and therefore you only get a 3rd-round draft pick because, of course, Reagor might not actually play well. Or change the scenery. Matt Ryan, you saw what they did with Cordarrelle Patterson in the Arthur Smith system. It could be a really good trade, and then you not only get a replacement receiver, but a pick as well. This to me would be an A+ grade. Like, you don't get a 2nd, but you do get a 3rd and a player. This to me is an A+ grade. That's my own mock trade, but a lot of these are flying around right now. And so I'll ask you guys this during the ad break pinned comment down below. Which trade would you do for Calvin Ridley? Like, out of these 3, 1, 2, or 3. The first one being the Jets for a 3rd, 2nd one being the Browns for a 2nd, or 3rd, my personal one, would be the 3rd and Jalen Reagor, a wide receiver. Which would you do? Let me know down below right now. Now, obviously, if any of these trades were to happen or if there's more news and Ridley wants to come back, we'll cover it all here on the channels. Make sure you guys are subscribed as we have plenty of great offseason coverage in terms of free agency, in terms of the NFL draft, in terms of mock drafts. I love mock draft season. We're going to get a mock draft season coming up here very, very soon. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Let's get to 5K subs. So let's start ramping this up here. If you have not subscribed to the channel, you love the Falcons, go down below and subscribe. I wanted to hit on a topic that I kind of glanced over a little bit last week, but it's come more into, I would say, the light this week, and that, of course, is Cordarrelle Patterson and the pending free agency that he has in 2022. So, as we know, Patterson is an unrestricted free agent, being the fact he's on a one-year, $3 million deal, which is officially over now. And so, coming in the start of the new league year on March 16th, Cordarrelle Patterson can sign with anybody. And so, we talked about, would I re-sign him? How much would I pay to re-sign him? What we haven't talked about is the fact that not only do the Falcons need to retain him, I think, because they are losing talent with Ridley being traded, as we talked about, but Patterson's desire and him voicing his desire to stay in Atlanta is very important for the Falcons in terms of getting a proper deal in order to bring back the star running back, wide receiver, whatever you want to call him. So let's start with, first off, Patterson's shoes in the final game against the Saints. Did you see this on Twitter? You might have missed it because it didn't get covered a lot in local Atlanta and definitely didn't get covered by ESPN. Here's what Patterson's shoes had. So one side it says, cut the check, Mr. Blank, with the meme, you know, where it's like, you look this side of the road, it's happy, this side of the road, it's sad. You see that on there? So that was from Patterson's personal Twitter account, and of course he wore them in Week 18, but that's what he tweeted out. Here's another look at the shoes from both sides here. As you take a look on your screen, and very clearly it shows that he wants to retire a Falcon. And he voiced in his post-game press conference that, you know, his family lives close to Atlanta, and retiring a Falcon is definitely a priority. So it seems like he wants to come back, right? That is good news for Atlanta, because as you go into Pro Football Focus's top 5 free agent running backs, he makes the list. Like, look at this. Number 1 is Leonard Fournette, which we'll see if that remains true due to Leonard Fournette's injury at the latter half of the year. Then Melvin Gordon, who's a Bronco, or was a Bronco. Then Chase Edmonds, the Cardinal, who, of course, is no longer in the playoffs. Then right there is Patterson, number 4 on the list. I mean, that's pretty darn high for someone who was worth $3 million last year on a one-year deal. James Conner comes in at number 5. What does this all tell us? It tells us that Patterson wants to come back, but the price is going to be expensive. Over the Cap has a price for him right now at $8.8 million a year. They projected a future contract, $8.8 million a year. Here's my point on this segment. Maybe, just maybe, Patterson is going to go ahead and take a team-friendly deal, cut that 8.8 down to $6 million a year. That way the Falcons can sign him and still have free agent money, and boom, we have a really good deal, not only for Atlanta, but I think for Patterson as well. Like, if Patterson just wants money, he's not going to stay in Atlanta. But he wants to stay in the culture, and I think he likes the Smith system, and I mean, the fact he was so productive in it, I mean, goodness gracious, the guy was incredible this year. I think shows that maybe you could get him for a little bit cheaper, but $8.8 million is too much. The Falcons cannot afford to spend $8.8 million on a skill player this offseason. They don't have the money to do so. They have other needs, obviously, to go ahead and address in free agency, and there are cheaper wide receivers and running backs out there. So if it's 8.8, they're not going to do it. If it's less, then I think Patterson and them can come to a deal, and we'll keep an eye on this as the season continues to go ahead and progress. What do you guys think? Should the Falcons sign Patterson at all costs? Like, at all costs, the Falcons go out and sign Cordarrelle Patterson. If you think they should, type Y down below for yes. Think they should not, type N down below for no. All right, before we get into exactly how the offseason is going to go, I want to give you the full structure here. First, quick shout out to our friends at BetUS. I made some money this weekend betting on the NFC wildcard weekend. If you've not bet on any of the NFL games, you still have a chance right now with our friends at BetUS. The promo code is still going for new subscribers. Chatsports.com/BetFalcons. That promo code is Falcons125. Get you a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up, meaning that you can, put your $100 down and bet on the divisional round playoff games. A lot of the underdogs did not win besides the 49ers, but if you were betting on the home team, you won a lot of money this weekend, so you can try that again here with our friends at BetUS. Chatsports.com/BetFalcons, promo code Falcons125. Let's wrap up the show by quickly showing you the important offseason dates for the Falcons, because we have a little lull here until things really get going. So the NFL Scouting Combine is your first thing to really happen. That's March 1st through the 7th. But you can see all the latest draft prospects out there on the field running their little drills, which doesn't really matter, but it is in front of the team, and so it does kind of matter. New league year, here you go. Free agency begins March 16th. I think it's at 4 p.m. on March 16th. Your new league year officially begins, meaning you can sign free agents, and we'll have the whole wild free agent coverage here on the channel. The trade period also begins that same day. So March 16th is the day that Calvin Ridley could essentially be traded officially in the NFL protocol. Offseason workout programs for returning coaches is April 18th. If you're a new head coach, it's April 4th or 6th or whatever it is. But April 18th, your offseason workouts begin. And then the NFL draft, which is the most fun time of the year, you guys know that, is April 28th through the 30th. So those are your offseason dates, which leads me into a video I did a couple of days ago. If you missed it, my offseason plan for the Falcons, all will be involving these dates and these official 5-step process, right? I talked about trading Calvin Ridley. I talked about re-signing Cordarrelle Patterson at the right price. I talked about signing some O-line depth in free agency because that's very important in my opinion. Obviously, drafting a defensive end in round 1, and then, in my opinion, drafting a future quarterback in round 2 or 3 to go ahead and start to build behind Matt Ryan and grow behind Matt Ryan while he sits for a year or 2. That's a video we did a couple days ago, kind of focusing in on the important offseason dates, kind of compare those together, so check out that video if you missed it. We'll end on this. What offseason event are you most excited about? For me, it's always the draft, because the draft is the most fun thing, but free agency is going to be crazy this year. I think free agency is going to be nuts with the league money going up and a lot of good free agents out there. That's what I'm most excited for. Give me what you are down below right now. All right, ultimate today on our Atlanta Falcons news and rumor video. Of course, mailbag video coming up a little bit later on this week. Hashtag Falcons down below and be a subscriber. That way you can be a part of the video, right? It's kind of exactly the whole point is to get you in on the video and get your question asked and answered. For Atlanta Falcons Today, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off to the rest of your day.